Students, please let me know in the chat section that you all have received the learning plan link. So this is the actual learning plan, students, that you have to complete all the courses in the learning plan. Once you click on this learning plan, sir, now you can enable the chat, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So last week we have covered how to enroll yourself into the platform. Registration process, everything we have completed. If you have any queries, please watch the last week's session recording. Okay. Once you click on that particular learning plan, it will be redirected you to this. Yeah. EduNet Artificial Intelligence Learning Plan. But I have completed this learning plan last year itself, students. Okay. But in your case, it will be showing the learning plan with the courses. Okay. Can you able to see the courses like this? I need response from your end. You have to complete 13 courses in this learning plan. Okay. So once you have completed, let me show you how many of you are in the same page. Yes. So you can see generative AI and prompt engineering, climb your digital badge. Okay. You have two different modules. Okay. And before start exploring this course, make sure that under your profile section, you have EduNet Foundation or DGT. Then only we can able to track your completion status. Okay. And coming to this modules in the learning plan, the first module is generative AI and prompt engineering, and the second module is climb your digital badge. Okay. You can see generative AI and prompt engineering. We have to complete 8 courses, students, and you can ignore the optional courses. These two are optional courses. Okay. The mandatory course you can find here: Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, Introduction to Generative AI, Machine Learning and Deep Learning, Mastering the Art of Prompting, AI Ethics, Your Future in AI, Run AI Models with IBM Watson Studio. So these are all some of the courses that you have to complete. Let me show you any one course, how to complete this, so that you can start exploring the courses and complete the courses at your end. Okay. So here I am taking you to the second course, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. Can you able to click on that particular course, students? Just click on the Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. We will let you know. Okay. So introduction to artificial intelligence, and can you find go to activity here? This is somewhat similar to the orientation learning plan. Okay. Last week you have completed some of the courses, no, the same way, but this is the actual learning plan you have to complete as one of the metric in this internship program. Okay. So here you can click on go to activity. Sir, could you please forward that link in the Telegram group, sir, as well?
I'm sharing, Nandini. I'm sharing.
So, students, the server is busy. I think more than 3,000 students are accessing at the same time. So, it is little bit slow, but you can also try if you are facing challenge while accessing the particular course, watching the session recording. Optional learning, once you complete the mandatory courses, you can try the optional learning as well. Okay. But students, you have to complete 13 courses like this. Your completion courses. I mean, for you people, it might be showing 18. I said I found some of the students are posting. Okay. So this is the learning course, EduNet Artificial Intelligence. Okay. You have to complete 13 courses in this learning plan. Okay. And it should shows 100%. That is fine, ma. See, in your case, you might have some more optional courses. I told you, no, I have completed this learning plan last year. Okay, so the platform is keep on updating students. Try to understand. I have completed this courses in the year 2024, last year. Okay, and this platform, they will keep on adding more trending courses and more skills based courses. Okay, for the students to update with the emerging technologies. That is the reason. Don't get confused. I am opening with my account. That is the reason it is showing like that. Okay. In your case, make sure that you are having the learning plan name as EduNet Artificial Intelligence. In order to avoid confusion, sir, could you please open from your end whether it is showing 13 or 18?
Yes, just I'm enabling the YouTube live link. Yeah, they
Okay.
have to complete 13 courses.
13 courses only.
Yeah.
So students, it is 13 only, not 18. Make sure that you have used the same link, whatever the link that we have posted in the Telegram group as well as in the chat section. Okay. So, yeah. So the course is open. You can see here Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. Okay, I'm going to click on Resume Course. For you people, it might be showing Start Course. Can you able to open this? Students, don't post any wrong messages like 18, 19 courses in the chat section. Make sure that you have opened the correct learning plan and understand the things. Okay. So here you can see Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. And this course have multiple module students. Okay. You can see here it will be starting from the course design. Okay. What is artificial intelligence? About this module, what is AI? And what is the difference between AI and your augmented intelligence, and how the machines can able to predictions is possible with the help of AI, and what is the history of AI. Okay, these are all the content we have under the first module, and you will be having the quiz. So students, for clearing the quiz, you have to secure at least 80%. Is this clear to everyone? Yeah. Okay. So the deadline for completing the courses, you can complete uh, in 2 weeks. Okay, that we can say. The exact deadline we will let you know. Okay, but in the next 2 weeks, we will be updating your status on the completion of courses in the Skillbill platform. Okay, then coming to the second module, we have what is the era of tabulation, because it's all where your machine learning evolution started, and the programming and the artificial intelligence history, and followed by you will be having one more quiz again. Okay, for every quiz you need to secure at least 80%. Is it clear to everyone? Student, is it clear to everyone? Okay, then coming to the third module, you will be having different types of data. Data play an important role in the machine learning algorithms as well as for the AI based algorithm, right? So without data, we cannot create, or we cannot train the model for better predictions, right? So what is the data, what are all the different types of data we have, like structured, unstructured data, what is the difference between these two data, followed by you will be having one quiz again. Okay, so this quiz, all the quiz, you have to secure minimum 80%. Okay, and of course, coming to the machine learning part, you have three different types of machine learning, the common types: supervised, unsupervised, and the reinforcement learning. These concepts we will be discussing in today's session using the PPT. Is it clear to everyone? Students, I need response from your end. Is this clear to everyone? How to complete your courses? Okay. And finally, you will have a final assessment. This assessment will have 15 questions, students, that you have to complete for artificial intelligence. Once you complete all the courses, okay, your status bar will change to 100%. That shows that you have successfully completed your courses. Okay. Do you have any query, students? How to complete the courses? This is one of the important metrics. I am repeating myself. This is one of the important metrics. Completing all the courses in this learning plan. Am I clear to everyone? Any queries? Similarly, you have to complete the remaining courses as well, like Introduction to Generative AI, Mastering the Art of Prompting. Okay, we will be exploring each and every concept. In today's session, we will be focusing on what is our AI, what is machine learning, how the traditional machine learning differ from this traditional algorithm differ from this machine learning models, and what are all the different types of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, what is data, what are all the different types of data, how to prepare the data for the prediction process. Okay, so these are all the concepts we will be covering in today's sessions, and followed by we will be start exploring the project of this internship program. Okay, is it clear? So students, you have to start exploring the courses and complete the same in next 2 weeks. When you are exploring the courses, if you have any queries, please let us know in the chat section. Okay, then and there during the technical session. Okay, and coming to the second module. Okay, coming to the second module, students, click on this register for Credly. I request all the students to click on this register for Credly. Have you all done up to this? Yes, we have to create a machine learning project. Okay, that we will be start exploring from next week onwards. Okay, today we will be concentrating on AI, machine learning, and types of machine learning. Okay, can you able to see here mark complete, students? Register for Credly. Can you able to see mark complete? Just click on mark complete and don't change anything. Just click on OK. And under the action button, you will be having view completion certificate. Download this certificate and share it in the chat section, everyone. I request all the students to share this register for Credly certificate in the chat section. Similarly, for create a Credly. I request all the students, this is a very simple course. You can just click on mark complete and you can share it in the chat section. Similarly, for the remaining two courses, IBM Skills Build, how to climb, earn it, accept it, and share it. So all the 4 courses, try to complete and share it in the chat section. See, you have to just click on mark complete and download the certificate of all the courses. That's it. But these courses are the actual courses. You have to spend around more than 1 hour for each course. Okay. To complete, to understand the concept, and you have to solve the quiz as well to download the certificate. Okay. That is the actual task. Then coming to the artificial intelligence fundamentals. This is one of the course where you will be claim your certificates through Credly. This is also an important part of this learning plan. Students try to understand this. Okay. So this course you have to complete and earn the credentials via Credly. Okay, so how to earn after completing this course, students? Artificial Intelligence Fundamentals. Okay, what you have to do, listen carefully. I will let you know. I will tell you how to download this particular. See, the first module course you can download from the platform itself. Okay, once you complete the courses, no, you can download the certificate under the action button, view completion certificate. Okay, like this, introduction to artificial intelligence. You need not worry about the Credly and all. But coming to the second module, one course under the second module, you have to climb through Credly platform. After completing this course, what you have to do, students listen carefully. I request all the students, can I have your attention? Listen. Okay. So go to create an account in Credly course. Create a Credly account. Can you all able to see this course? And can you able to see the link over here, Credly? Those have already created, no problem. This is for the students. Those are not yet created. Okay. You can just click on Credly. It will be redirected you to the Credly platform. Okay. What you have to do, just click on sign in. Students, just follow my instruction. Those who have already created, no problem. Students, those who have not yet created, just click on sign in and scroll down to the bottom where you can find create an account. Can you able to see here create an account? Those who have created the account using different mail ID, you have to create. See students, you should have a Credly account using this Gmail ID only, not any other ID. I am repeating myself. Students, you should have a Credly account using the same Gmail ID what you have used in the IBM Skillsbill platform. This mail ID, not any other mail ID. Otherwise, you cannot able to download your certificate. Okay. So, what you can do, you can just click on create an account. Okay. Once you click on create an account, it will be asking for the first name, last name and the Gmail ID. In the email, what you have to do, just copy this email ID. Whatever you have in the Skillsbill platform, just copy and paste it over here. Okay. Then only your credentials will be reflected over here. You can see here the country is India. Then language, English. You can create the password for this, whatever the password. Okay. And just click on I accept the terms and condition, and you can verify the captcha and create an account. Okay. This is how you have to create an account in the Credly. But I already created using my Skillsbill Gmail ID. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that account. So whatever the Gmail ID you have used here, the same Gmail ID, you have to use it to create an account in the Credly platform. Okay, it is asking for verification. Just a second. Oh my God. Yes. So it is. Yeah, that is fine, ma. But the Gmail ID should be the same. Whatever you have used in the Skillsbill platform, the same Gmail ID, you have to use it over here. 1 second. I am just verifying this. Okay. If you are getting DGT the next week, if you are getting EduNet, no issues. Whatever you are having under your profile section, you just mention either DGT or EduNet Foundation. Student, listen carefully. I have already completed the courses. Once you have completed the courses, the mail will be, the verification mail will be sent to your Gmail, the registered Gmail ID. So what you have to do, so you have to verify the badge through mail. Then only you will be able to accept your certificate. Okay, this is how your final certification looks like, students. Can you able to see here? This is how your final certification looks like after completing this course in the IBM Skillsville platform. That is your Artificial Intelligence Fundamentals. This is the course that you can download your certificate via Credly. Once you complete the courses, okay, you have to create an account in the Credly using the same Gmail ID what you have used in the IBM Skillsville platform. Okay, so you will be receiving the mail for verification. You have to click on accept badge. That will be redirected to your Credly account, and you can able to see your credentials like this. You can download the certificate and download the badge, and also you have to verify in this. Then only your activation status will be reflected as 100%. Sometimes if you are not, even though if you are completing the courses, but you have not yet verified the badge in through mail, then your activation status won't reflected here. Okay, these things you need to be understand from this learning plan. Is it clear? So we have two different modules. The first module have certain number of courses. After completing the courses, you can download the certificate in the platform itself. That is your Skillsville platform. And the second module having your Credly based courses. This is a very less duration courses. You can just click on mark complete and you can download the certificate. But coming to artificial intelligence fundamentals, you can download the certificate via Credly. So for that reason only you have created the account in Credly. Okay. Once you create an account in the Credly, after completing the course, the verification mail will be sent to your registered mail ID. You have to click on that mail for batch verification. Then once you click on accept batch, it will be redirected to the Credly platform, and you can find the certificate like this. You have to click on verify and share for download your certificate and accept the batch. Is this clear to everyone? So after completing all the courses, okay, you will be having the action button to view the certificate. Okay. So your final certification will be looking like this. Say for example, Saman Kumar, EduNet Artificial Intelligence. Okay. Amit Bikram, EduNet Artificial Intelligence. Vedant, EduNet Artificial Intelligence. So this is the final certification that shows that you have successfully completed the learning plan for this internship program. Is this clear to everyone? Any queries? Students, I don't want to spend much time on this. We have to jump into a technical session. I need response from all the students. You can take another 2 to 3 weeks to complete the courses, students. Then only you can focus on the project. We have another matrix called the project to complete. Okay? So don't spend much time on the courses itself. Okay? So try to complete whenever the session gets completed, you can parallelly complete the courses as well. We have two important metrics. You have to give equal concentration to both. Okay, you have to submit the project as well as the courses. It should not be like you are sticking on with the project or sticking on with the courses. You should give equal priority to both the courses as well as the project. Then only you can able to submit both the metrics on time. Is this clear to everyone? Shall we go on to the technical part? Have you all completed this courses, ma? The basic courses, Credly, create a Credly account, register for Credly. Yes. Okay. So great. So we can begin with the technical session. Students, if you have query, okay, you can watch today's recording to understand the things. If we are keep on repeating the same thing again and again, it will drag our time and we cannot get into a technical part. Okay. So that we will be uploading the session recording then and there in the Telegram group. You can watch the recording and understand the things at your free time. Clear? Yes. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible. The second screen is visible to everyone, right? Yes. So in today's session, we'll be starting with artificial intelligence, okay, followed by machine learning. What is machine learning, how it differs from traditional learning, and what are all the different types of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning, and how to proceed with the project based on the technical part that we have discussed in today's session. Okay. This is the overall objective of today's session. Okay. So coming to the artificial intelligence, before that, I'll just show you the objective of this today's presentation. AI history, applications of AI, what are all the job roles we have in this artificial intelligence technology, then life cycle, overview of machine learning, different types of machine learning, and what are all the algorithms, followed by a small quiz. It's like a recap of the content what we have discussed in today's session. Everyone clear with the objectives? Yes? Yes. So, coming to the general introduction on artificial intelligence in our day-to-day life. Before starting the introductions, I would like to ask few questions. Okay. From your understanding, okay. So we are using technology in our day-to-day life. Okay. We are, everything is digitalized and we are using the emerging technologies in our day-to-day life. One such technology is artificial intelligence, right? In order to reduce the human effort, we are using these technologies, right? So from your understanding, okay, in our day-to-day life, what are all the what is the importance of AI? What are all the roles the AI played in our day-to-day life? Can I get response from your end? Exactly, I can see Alexa, Siri. Okay, so these are all some of the assistant, okay, that can able to reduce our work by doing, by setting alarms, okay. It can able to give you the answer. If you want to know something new that you are not aware of that particular term, what it will do? If you are asking Alexa or Siri or Google, okay, what it will give you the answers based on your question. Right. You need not go to the search engine to search something that is very new to them. You can get the instant response from these voice assistant. Right. Any other example? Recommendations. Exactly. Okay. This is what my first example. Okay. So how the smart TVs can able to suggest what kind of shows and the movies that you might like. Okay, so this is one example that I'm putting in front of you all. What is the idea behind this? How it can able to suggest shows, movies. Okay, so what it is all about. Okay, so here it is a content prediction. Okay, what it is doing actually based on this technology. Okay, it will be trying to predict what will be your preference in future. Okay, so that is all about the prediction that comes under machine learning, that we will discuss what is machine learning again. Okay, so it will try to understand your past preferences, your past activities in that particular YouTube or any online platform that you are going to entertain yourself. Okay, it will try to understand the user preferences based on the past preferences. Here, the preferences and the activities is nothing but the data for the machine. Can you able to understand? Yes. Okay. And these data help the machine to think like a human being. What will be the future? Um, what will be the future preference of that particular user based on the past data? Okay. Then it will try to predict that particular movie or the uh, shows the user might like. Okay, that is nothing but the content prediction. Technically speaking, content prediction. This is how the recommendation system in the e-commerce sites and in the movie website, Netflix, Amazon. Okay, so they're all using this AI to understand the user preferences. Okay, that is the past data, the historical preferences or the past activities, to try to predict the future preferences of a particular data. That is how the recommendations comes into picture. It can able to suggest movies and the shows for the users might like. Okay, when you're talking about recommendation, again, it is a big story. We don't want to get into that in a deeper way. Okay, can you able to understand the role of AI in this application? Yes. Then, as you all mentioned, we have three different voice assistant. Okay, Alexa, Siri, and Cortana. Cortana is also a voice assistant developed by Microsoft. Okay, I have given you three different examples developed by different companies to help the users and also reduce their work with the help of this assistant. Okay, so here it will try to understand the speech. Okay, so these assistants are working on based on the voice commands. Have you all agree with me or not? Yes. Okay, so this voice will be converted into a text. Okay, so the text is nothing but the human language. Whatever we are speaking to this voice assistant, that will be converted into a text. And how the text are analyzed with the help of the NLP, natural language processing. Before that, we have a natural language understanding. What is that understanding? Whatever the voice commands we are giving to the machine, that will be converted into a text, and the text will be analyzed in terms of content and the meaning. Okay, what is the context of that particular text? What is the intent behind the text? Okay, it will try to process the text information and it will be processing in order to provide the response to the user. Exactly. Okay, natural language understanding and natural language processing. Okay, so this is how. And finally, what will happen? Say for example, when you are keep on setting alarm at 7 o'clock. Okay, even the voice assistant can able to improve its performance based on the user routine. What it will do? It will tell you 7 o'clock alarm setting reminder. Okay, over time it will try to understand the user. Okay, for every morning you used to set the alarm at 7 o'clock. One day you forget to do that. Okay, so over time it will try to understand the user user routines as well. Okay, so it can able to reduce the human effort to set or to automate the works without much effort. Okay, then Any other example? As you all mentioned, we are in the era of generative AI. Okay, that your LLMs, large language models. Okay, so this can able to process n number of data, huge volume of data, and these models won't use the traditional machine learning algorithms. Okay, so it will be using the pre-trained models. These applications are using the pre-trained models to provide the user um, response based on the pre-trained models and the data, huge volume of data. Okay, that is the generative AI models. We have ChatGPT by OpenAI, okay, Gemini by Google. Yes, I can see. Okay, and we have, I can see so many students have posted Hugging Face. Okay, it can able to work on with multiple LLM models. Hugging Face, if you are taking Hugging Face and all, can able to work on with multiple LLM models. Okay, so we are in the era of generative AI that can able to generate new content rather than the predictions or the classification based on the historical data. Okay, so these are all some of the examples of real-time examples of artificial intelligence in our day-to-day life. Okay, if you're taking ChatGPT, okay, it becomes our daily application tool that we are using that application for every work that we are doing. If we are trying to write some summary or essay, okay, we are using that tool to generate the content, whatever we want, right? So, but make sure that you are using this technology to certain extent, not for every task that we are doing in our day-to-day life. Okay, we have n number of applications, DeepSeek, Canvas. So these are all working on with image data set. Okay, so that can able to generate multiple images. Yes, so we are in the era of generative AI now. Okay, starting from the traditional AI to the generative AI. Yes, Imagen, Copilot. Say for example, I can see some students have posted Copilot. Again, Microsoft Copilot, we can, if we want to train the model to specific applications, okay, we have the model like this. Okay, so based on the based on the need of that particular model, we can explore different generative AI application as well. Clear? Any query, students? Okay. Then coming to the artificial intelligence definition. Okay. So this is nothing but artificial intelligence is nothing but creating a machine that can able to perform different tasks that typically requires the human intelligence. This is the proper definition of AI. What are all the tasks that we can do in terms of problem solving, learning? These are the three major functionalities of artificial intelligence. The first one is the problem solving. The next one is the machine can able to learn from the huge volume of data, and with that learning it can able to make decisions. Okay, and we have some applications starting from automations. Okay, will AI replace human being? Yes. No. Then it is all about it can able to imitate the human abilities and can able to solve the problems to certain extent. Okay, so the next one is data processing. It can able to process huge volume of data and as I mentioned earlier, and making decision out of it. Okay, then the next thing is personalization. As I mentioned earlier, it can able to focus on the individual user preferences as well. Okay, then different predictive analytics and various healthcare applications, they were using AI for image processing, patient image processing, and they can able to predict the future disease that the patient might have in the future, as well as in the environmental monitoring. Okay, it can able to sense the temperature, based on that it can pure the water. Okay, that is automated water management system in the farmland. Okay, based on the temperature, there is no need of the human being to monitor the weather and um, irrigate the water to the farmland. It can able to sense the environment with the help of the sensors and collect the data. Based on that data, it can able to send the water to the farmland. Okay, so there are n number of applications under AI. We will be discussing one by one in the upcoming slides. Okay, yes. Then coming to the history of AI, starting from 1950s, the first one is artificial intelligence. So this is nothing but that we have already had a explanation of what is artificial intelligence. So making the machine, incorporating the intelligence into a machine. Okay, so the machine can behave like a human being. Okay, then how the machine can able to behave like a human being with the help of the learning capability. Okay, that is where the machine learning comes into a picture. So machine learning, you can take ability of the machine to learn without any external programming. Okay, so that is nothing but the machine learning. Then we have a deep learning algorithm as well. Okay, so when we can say the human is an intelligent human, can you tell me? When we can say a human is an intelligent, more IQ. We will be talking about the brain, right? Whenever we are talking about intelligent knowledge, the first organ come into our picture is a brain, right? So deep learning, that is how the deep learning evolves. This inhibit the characters of the human brain. Okay, deep learning is nothing but the it derives from the biological neuron. Okay, that is the neural network, and the neural networks have multiple neurons to process the data. Okay, and when you're talking about the comparison of artificial intelligence to deep learning, the artificial intelligence will be more focusing on the outcome. Okay, and the deep learning, it will be more focusing on the accuracy. Can you able to understand? Yes. Okay. So this will be regardless of the outcome, it will be more focusing on the outcome, sorry, accuracy and the effectiveness of the output that we are getting. Okay. With the help of the complex neural network. Okay. And the learning process happened with the help of the neural network. Okay. And the machine learning, it will be focusing on the outcome as well as the accuracy. Okay, this is what how we can differentiate AI, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay, you can see, ma'am, is this only way to achieve AI? Okay, so machine learning is one of the way to achieve artificial intelligence, ma'am. Okay, it is one of the powerful way to achieve AI. There are multiple ways to achieve AI. Okay, it is one of the powerful way. It is a subset of artificial intelligence, and it is the capability of making the machine to learn from the data without explicit program. Okay, and the deep learning. Okay, when you're talking about what is the actual deep neural network map. Okay, so let me take an example of biological neuron. Okay, so your biological neuron consists of the network. Okay, so what it will do, it will be uh, taking the input from the different parts of the body, and it will take the input and it will process with the help of the central neuron. Let me show you the difference. Okay, I just want to show you the. I will tell you the difference and how it works. Can you able to see the picture, ma? Yes. Students, can you able to see the picture? Okay. You can just look into it. Okay, this is my biological neuron. Okay, so you can see the dendrites, nucleus, cell body, axon, and axon terminals. This is the biological term, students. You need not worry about it. I'll just let you know what is the functionality of this neuron. You can see here the dendrites, it will receive the input from the different parts of the body. Say, for example, if you are going to touch the hot object, okay, so that response will be given to the nucleus. It will try to process it, and that based on the response, the impulse will be traveled to the axon terminals. That means it will be saying that you should not touch. For the first time it will happen, but for the next time the experience will be saved inside the nucleus. So it will be telling you that you should not touch the hot object, otherwise it will hurt you. Okay, the same way the neural network derive the principles of this biological neuron. It will be having three different layers, ma. The first layer is the input layer, second layer is the hidden layer, third layer is the output layer. So what is the role of the input layer? It will receive all the input from the environment like your dendrites are doing. It will receive all the input from the parts of the body. The same way your input layer will collect all the information, that is the input data from the environment, and like this nucleus, your hidden layers will process the data. Can you able to understand? Yes. Can you able to visualize it? Okay. So this hidden layers, as you increase your hidden layers, the neural network complexity will also increase. Okay, you can have n number of hidden layers. Okay, and it will derive the response back to the environment, like prediction, classification, okay, whatever based on the network that you are going to choose. Okay. So dendrites are nothing but the input layer. It will receive the input data from the environment, and the hidden layers are nothing but whatever the nucleus role is, nothing but the hidden layer will play the same role. It will try to process the information from the input layer with the help of the neurons and the activation functions. Okay, then finally it will try to process that information and produce the outcome based on the data and the pattern. Yeah, the more the number of hidden layers, the complexity as well as the outcome will also more effective and more accurate. We have a mathematical formulations for this particular neural network, students, that I will explain. Okay, so we have a weight and the bias associated with each neural connections. If you are taking this input layer, no, so each input layer will be connected to each node of the hidden layer. Okay, so each connections will be associated with some weight and bias. Weight is nothing but the value between the node in the input layer and the node in the hidden layer. Okay, so that weight and the bias need to be considered for finding the hidden output, hidden layer output. Okay, and similarly for this second node to the hidden layer, third node to the hidden layer. Okay, it will be considered for finding the output of the hidden layer. Then that output will be given as the input to the next hidden layer. This is how the progression of the deep neural network derives in order to produce the final outcome. Okay, clear? Any queries? Okay. I can see some no, ma'am. What is the meaning of no? Can you able to understand this or not? Yeah, we will share. We will try to share it now. Okay. Yes. Then coming to the different types of AI, as you all know, we have two different types. One is weak AI and the other one is narrow AI. Okay, I'll just give you the definition of weak and the narrow AI. It will be working based on the predefined set of instructions. Okay, so example, driverless car, smartphone. So I'll give you one example. Okay, so the driverless car will be trained based on the traffic signals, right? So what is the drawback? Can you able to can anyone tell me in that driverless car? So that you will get the understanding of what is the difference between weak AI and narrow AI. Okay, say for example, if the zebra crossing is there, so that the car will stop at that point. Okay, if somebody is crossed in the middle of the highway, what will happen? The car won't stop because, as per the rules, if it is finding some red signals, right? Red signals in the traffic, or if there is any zebra crossing, it will try to stop. Okay, but in the middle of highways, okay, what will happen if somebody crossing the road? It won't stop. It might hit the particular person, right? So that is called narrow AI. It will be designed with a set of instructions. It can't work beyond that. Okay, so that is the difference between your weak AI and narrow AI. But when it comes to human being, what will happen? Okay, somebody is crossing the road with the sixth sense, he will stop the car. Okay, so the strong AI or the general AI is still in research, not full-fledged applications we have in our era. Okay, clear? So this is the difference between your weak AI and narrow AI. We have many examples of weak AI. Okay, we have voice assistant. Okay, sometimes if you are asking some irrelevant question to Alexa or Siri, it will tell you like, I don't understand your question. Have you ever experienced this? Yes? Yeah. So that is the disadvantage in the narrow AI. It will be designed in such a way that it cannot uh, uh, work or answer beyond the trained principles. Okay. Then coming to the types of AI. So we have machine learning that we have already mentioned what is machine learning and neural network. So coming to the natural language processing, it can able to understand the speech as well as its intent and the context. Okay, that can able to understand the human language and process it to give the proper response back to them. Okay, then finally some robotics. This is again a type of AI. It can able to reduce the human effort to do certain task. Okay, so these are the some major categories of artificial intelligence for your reference. Okay, then coming to the application, students, we have n number of applications in AI. So I will be highlighting some of the applications that we have not yet discussed. Okay, entertainment. If you are asking movies, games. Okay, so these are all some of the applications. Social media. Okay, tagging pictures. Okay, and surveillance camera. So we have n number of applications of AI that I have listed some of the highlighting applications for your reference. If you are really interested in artificial intelligence, you will become a robotic scientist. Okay, big data engineer. This comes under the data processing part, business intelligence developer, then machine learning engineer, those who can able to create algorithms with the help of the data, the product manager, and AI research scientist. Some of the highlighting job profiles in AI. Then coming to the different machine learning process involved. Okay, whenever we are trying to create some machine learning algorithm, what is the first step that we have to follow? The first one is identification of problem or objective. What algorithm that we are going to derive? Okay, so for that, you need to understand the problem. Can anyone tell me what is the problem? That is nothing but the task to be done. Okay, the real world issue. Okay, so what is the problem existing that we are facing in our day to day life? Okay, or the requirements, user requirement, you can say. Okay, so that is nothing but identification of problem or objective. So the next part is, this will be very much helpful for you to complete your project. Mark, this is very important. The reason is, you will be starting your project using this process only. Okay, first you have to identify. The reason why I'm keeping this slide is, you will be working on with your project based on this process and the step only. You will be starting your project and completing your project. Okay, so the first thing is, you have to identify your problem. What type of problem that you are going to work on with for your project. Okay, this I am explaining for the machine learning process. Okay, the next thing is, once you are defined with your problem, okay, you need a data, because most of the machine learning algorithms are working on with the data, based on the data. So you need some data, and also exploratory data analysis. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to perform some data analysis with your existing data. Okay, that you have to do. Then data preparations. So for your problem, what are all the features that you require? You're not going to work on with the entire data, right? So whatever the features, you can consider this as a dimensionality reduction or feature selection. Okay, yeah, if you are going for deep learning, then it will be feature engineering. This task will be skipped, because the algorithm itself will take care of the feature selection or the feature engineering. Yes or no? Right? So this is based on the algorithm that you are going to choose. Then algorithm selection. So for that data and the problem, what type of algorithm that you are going to consider? Okay, so we are going to manipulate the data with the help of different methods. That is nothing but algorithm selection. Okay, once you have implemented the algorithm, students, this we are focusing on all the students, so we will be explaining all the technical content in English only. Try to understand. Okay. Then coming to the evaluation part, once you have create your algorithm, or once you have implemented your algorithm, how effective your algorithm is, that you will be doing with the help of the evaluation. Okay. So model evaluation, that have to be done after algorithm implementation. Then finally deployment part, that is optional. Okay, once you have evaluated the project, if you are going to deploy it in a in the real world environment, that you can do it with launch model steps. Okay, so these are all some of the steps involved in your project, students. Any queries in that? This is how you have to complete your project. I really want good project from this batch, students. Okay, so try to understand the steps and the process, and you have to work on with the project really good. Yeah, we will do it in Python. Okay, because most of the machine learning libraries and the AI algorithms we can explore with using Python programming, because it is having some predefined libraries. Okay, yes, clear. Any queries? If you have any queries, please post it in the chat section. We will be using Python to complete our project. Then the machine learning algorithms. Okay, so what is machine learning? As I mentioned earlier, it is the capability of machine to learn the data, learn from the data, or it can able to learn from the huge large volume of data without any explicit programming. Okay, so let me show you some example how it works from the traditional machine learning models. Okay, so if you want to add two numbers, let me take you to some online compiler. Okay. Okay. Okay, listen. So I want to add two numbers. Can anyone tell me what I have to do? This you can consider this as a machine mark. Okay. So I want to add two numbers. Okay. Let me know how to do that. You want two numbers. Okay. So let me take A is equal to 2. Yes. B is equal to 3. Okay. I want to add these two numbers. So what is that? C is equal to A plus B. Have you all agree with me? Yes. Print C. Right? Okay. So for you want addition of two numbers. For that, what you are giving to the machine? Can anyone tell me? What is this? A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3? Inputs. So you are giving the machine input. And what is that? Anyone tell me? Operation or algorithm or function, instruction. Okay, you can take any term. Okay, for adding two numbers, you are giving the machine input and instruction. Is this clear to everyone? Right? So I'm just going to run this program. So it is giving me the output as 5. So for getting your output, you are feeding your traditional machine input and the algorithm or instruction in order to get your output. Yes or no? Okay. But in your machine learning, what you will do, you can see the difference now. Now you will understand. Okay. So for prediction or result, so I am giving my computer A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3. And the model is nothing but C is equal to A plus 3. So I am giving the instruction as well so that the computer can process this data and the model to get the result as 5. Can anyone tell me? Is it clear to everyone? Traditional programming. But in the machine learning model, what we will do, we will be feeding the machine input and the output. This is the vice versa. Okay? We will be feeding the machine input and the output. So the machine can able to learn with the help of the data in order to generate the model. Okay. And this model will be used for the prediction process. This is how your traditional modeling and the machine learning differs. Okay. You want to show me the example, right? Is it clear to everyone? Okay. So for traditional programming, you will be feeding the machine input and the algorithm or the instruction. Okay. So for every time you will be feeding the computer the model or the instruction. If you want to addition, you have to feed the model. If you want to, in future, if you want to do certain task, you have to again give the instruction to the computer. But here in this case, what will happen? You will be feeding the computer one time data and the output, it will generate the model and this model can be used for n number of times in the future. Is it clear to everyone? You will be feeding the machine input and the result, that is output. So the computer will be trained and it can able to generate the model. This model will be used for the future prediction process whenever the new data comes in. Okay. I will take you to the example for you people to understand how this works. Okay, have you ever heard the teachable machine? Okay. So this is one of the machine learning algorithm based application, students. You can see how our machine learning works. That is, especially this is a type of supervised machine learning. I will tell you what is that supervised machine learning. Okay, with the help of this demonstration. Okay, yeah, it learns from images. Okay, so I'm going to choose the image project. Okay, standard image model. Okay, so students, can you able to see here? So consider this as my machine. Okay, now I'm going to feed my machine. For machine learning, what we will be feeding? Anyone tell me what we will be feeding? Input, data. That is input and output. Okay, we will be feeding the machine both input and output. So what I'm going to do, so this is class is, I'm going to capture my face, happy and sad. So this is my output. Happy and sad are my output. Okay. I'm going to take the input through webcam. Okay, to capture my face. Okay. So first what I'm going to do, I'm going to take happy face of mine. Okay. So let me laugh. Okay. So the images are nothing but the input images. Can you able to understand? Students, can you able to understand the images are input images? So for this model student, you need to feed minimum 15 images. So when you increase the input images, no, you will get more accurate results. Okay. As per increase your input, the model will train in a more accurate manner. Okay. Then coming to the second example here, what does the sad represent? Can anyone tell me? Student, don't post unnecessary messages. Okay. Sad face is what? Output label. Okay. So I'm going to take the input. So for the sad face, I am just holding my hand like this. Okay. So, okay. So for both the models, I have, for both the input and output, I have taken two different postures in order to make the machine more understand with the gestures you can take. Okay. So happy and sad are my output label, and these images are nothing but the input images. So what I'm going to do for my machine learning, I will be feeding the machine both input and the output. Have you all agree with me or not? Yes. Students, I need response from your end. Don't spam the chat section, students, and don't post any unnecessary messages. Just focus on the technical content. Okay? Yes. So you can see here, I am feeding my machine input and the output label. So it will start get trained. Trained is nothing but learning process is going to happen. Yeah. See, these are the images. Images are input and the label are output. Okay. So I'm going to train my model so that the model will will start learning with the help of the data. Okay. So you can just click on learning. So the model is get trained. Okay, now what I'm going to do, listen carefully. So it is showing me happy 98%. Okay, let me just turn off this input for your reference. Okay, so the model is get trained. Now you can relate with this PPT, students. I have generated the model. Can you all able to understand till this step? Yes. Okay, now I'm going to use the model for future prediction. Yes. So future prediction is new data. What is that new data? What is that new data represent? Yes, image from the webcam. Okay, so I have a model in my hand. So I can make use of this model in future for any kind of facial expression. Okay, I can also add n number of labels, student. It is not mandatory that you can add only 2 classes. You can add n number of classes. So I can make use of this model for facial expression recognition or facial expression classification. Can you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Once you created the model, it will be used for future in for n number of purpose. Okay, now I'm going to show you. Happy? See what it is showing? When I'm click on this poster, no, I mean, it will be showing sad. Okay? Can you able to understand? Yes? Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone, right? Can you able to understand the difference? Okay. I will show you. Okay. So students, you can also integrate this model. Okay. You can just export the model. Okay. And you can make use of this model for expression recognition when you're going to build a different application with the help of this model that you have trained already. You can make use of this model. Okay, you can just click on download model with the different, you have JavaScript as well as Python file. Okay, so when you click on this download model, the model will be downloaded and it will be having both the model content, and you can just make use of that model um, in based on your application. Okay, and you can see the shareable link. Okay, this if you want to integrate using the link, shareable link and the API, you can make use of it. Okay, you can just download the model as well. Whatever the format you want, you can download. JavaScript. Okay, you can down by click on this, download my model. Yeah, you can get this code. Okay, nowadays everything we have a existing applications. Okay, that will simplify our work. So we have a models. You can just make use of the model API to integrate with your own project. Okay, for any complex project that you are going to work on with. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, then we will be starting with different types of machine learning. Okay, when we are talking about machine learning, we have different types. So the first one is supervised learning. What we have discussed in the previous example, no? So that is an example of supervised machine learning. Can anyone tell me what is supervised machine learning? From the name itself, you can understand. Supervised learning. Yes. labeled data. Okay, so supervised learning, you will be feeding the machine the label, the output and the input, so the machine can able to learn something from the data, the patterns and the um, uh, prediction values from the data, so that it can able to work on with the new data once the model is trained. Okay, it will be using the labeled data. You know what is input and what is output. With the help of that, it can able to predict the future outcome. Okay, under the supervised learning, we have two different subtypes. One is classification, another one is regression. Okay, so coming to the classification. So what is classification? It will be dividing the data point. Data points is nothing but the data into multiple classes. Okay, so in the previous example, how many classes we have classified our data? Can anyone tell me? Two classes. One is what? Another one is? Happy and the sad. Okay, so we have different applications of classification. Like, see, when you're talking about mail, email, you will be having inbox mail, spam mail. So these are all some of the examples. Image classification, this is the one example that we have experimented with the teachable machine. Okay, so that is nothing but classification, dividing the data into different classes. So that is nothing but a classification. Okay, but when you're talking about regression, okay, it is also a type of supervised learning, but here it will be trying to predict the continuous value. Here you will be dividing the data into different classes. The predefined label, with the help of predefined labels, you will be dividing the classes into different data points into different classes. Okay, but when you're talking about regression, this will be used for the continuous numerical value. What is that continuous numerical value? Except one regressions, we will be using this for continuous value. Yes. So you can take speed, temperature. Okay, you can't get a finite fixed value. Okay, so for that kind of applications, you will be using, yes, probability. Okay, except logistic regression, the remaining regressions we will be, logistic regression, we can use it for binary classification. Again, under classification, we have multiple types. We have binary classification, multi-label classification, multi-class classification. Okay, I will explain each and everything. Okay, what is multi-label, multiple, multi-class, everything. Okay, can you able to understand the difference between classification and regression, students? Here you will be categorize the data or dividing the data into different class labels. Okay, but this is used to predict a continuous numerical value. Okay, say for example, if you want to predict the temperature, stock market prices, okay, that time you will be using the regression. Label is nothing but the output, ma. Say for, regression is like a function, okay. So label is nothing but the output. In the previous example, what we have divided the images, sad and the happy. So sad is a label, the output label, or you can consider as a class. Okay, so listen carefully. So here I have taken the example of the previous teachable machine. So in the teachable machine, what we have given different set of images. Okay, so we have divided the images into two different types. What is the types or categories? Happy and sad. So happy and sad, we have a definite label. So that is nothing but classification. Okay, but when you're talking about regression, no, this will try to predict some continuous value. Continuous value means not a fixed value. Examples, speed of a vehicle, weather. Okay, so these are all some of the examples of, say for example, price of a house. We cannot have a fixed price, right? House price prediction, stock market values. So these are all some of the examples of continuous value. Employee salary, very good. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? When you're talking about the difference, in classification, you will have a discrete values, fixed value. But in the regression, you will be having a continuous numerical values. You can say how much the prices or how many values. In that way, you will be having the final outcome in the regression. But in the classification, whether you will be predicting with the class labels or the categories. Okay, so this is the major difference between your classification and the regression. Okay, then coming to the unsupervised learning. Do you have any queries in the unsupervised learning? Students, I need response. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an example for understanding. Okay, clear. Unsupervised learning. Here you will be having the labeled data. You will be feeding the machine. This is input and this is output. So that the machine can able to understand from the input and the output, it can able to predict the future values. Okay. When it comes to unsupervised learning. Okay. So unsupervised learning, what it will do, I will be feeding the machine only the data, not output. Say for example, let me show you 1 second so that you will get to understand. I just want to show you some picture. Yes. So students, can you able to see the picture? Yes. Okay. So I will be feeding the machine a bowl of fruits. Can you able to see the fruits, different types of fruits we have? And I don't know what is apple, what is banana, what is grapes, nothing I don't know, the machine. I'll be just feeding the machine the bowl of fruits. Okay. So it will be divided into let me take this first example. Okay. This is my first categories. Okay. So the fruits are divided into 3 types. Okay. So what is the type? The first one is banana. The next one is apple family. The next one is grape. So based on the species, the fruits are divided. Okay. Species means apple family, grape family, and the banana family. Okay. And you can see here, the fruits are divided based on what? Color. So, can you able to tell me what is unsupervised learning now? Clustering the data based on similarities. Can you able to understand? Yeah, we will be feeding the machine only the input without any output. So what it will do? It will try to find the similarities inside the data and cluster the data or grouping together the data based on that. For the first category, first example, it is trying to cluster based on the species. What are the species here? Banana species, grape family, and apple family. Coming to the second example, it has been divided into different based on the color. So this is based on the species and this is based on the color. Okay, so this is nothing but unsupervised learning. Yeah, here it is based on shape and color. Is it clear to everyone? So here we have some examples of clustering and the next type is dimensionality reduction. So can anyone tell me what is dimensionality reduction? So reducing the number of features. Great. Removing the unnecessary information. Okay. Yeah. So in the data set, we will be having the number of input variables, right? So what we will do, we will be keeping the relevant information. So whatever the answers that you have posted is correct. Okay. So we will be trying to reduce the number of input variables that are irrelevant from the data set. Okay. So what will happen? Okay. This will try to reduce the features from the input so that we can able to avoid some noise. Okay. And also we can, if you reduce unnecessary information, the computation power also will reduced. Okay. Reducing the number of features that are irrelevant to the model. Is it clear? And we have examples under each categories I have mentioned here. Yeah, I will explain now what we have to do it in the Shaik, Shatik. Yes, avoid overfill. What is your query? Can you please mention? What is your query? Can you please mention so that I can address? So related to your non-technical queries, we will discuss it on later, students, because we are focusing on the technical content now. I hope this is clear to everyone, right? Yeah. Then coming to the data set. One second, ma. Students, do you get any scribblings in that particular slide? One second, just a minute. Yes. Okay, now it is clear? Yes. Okay. So listen here. So we have different types of data as I mentioned earlier. So we have structured data, unstructured data set, text data set, image and audio. So what is structured data set? It will be organized in a table, well organized data that you will be stored it in the databases and spreadsheets that will be easy to access from the user end. Okay. Then coming to the unstructured data. Can anyone tell me an example of unstructured data? Okay, I can take the example of our chat section. When I'm asking some question, no, somebody will be posting, your text messages. Somebody will be posting thumbs up, some emojis, some images. Okay, so the data available in the social media chat sections. Okay, social media post. Okay, news readers, online news readers, social media data, chats. Okay, post, Twitter data sets. So these are all some of the examples of unstructured data that will contain that is having multimedia content. It will be having text, images. Even if you are taking images, no, there will be no unique format. You can see multiple format, PNG, JPEG, different. When you are taking Amazon review data set, that is one of the best example of unstructured data. So some customers will be posting the reviews in the form of text. Some customers will be posting the reviews in the form of videos. They will be taking the videos and post it in the online media and voice recordings as well, and some photo images when they want to post their product images with the reviews, so they will be posting it. That is one of the best example of unstructured data set. It won't follow any specific format. Okay, so most of the machine learning algorithms and the deep learning algorithm works on with the unstructured data set. Okay, to get the best decision, knowledge and the prediction out of the unstructured data set. Okay, then coming to the text data, most of our NLP based application as well as our LLM models. As you all mentioned, all the generative AI LLM models requires large volume of text data. But nowadays it is also working on with multimedia content. That is LLM. Okay, so nowadays it is evolving to work on with multimedia as well, but most of the LLM models, large language models, are working with the text data set. Okay, it will try to analyze the text, process the text for the better response to the user. Okay, we have different applications using NLP as well. Then coming to the image data sets, one of the specific technical area is a computer visions. It will be using images as an input to perform image classification. Example, medical image processing and classification. Okay, facial recognition. Say for example, I want to understand the students' expressions in the classrooms. Okay, whether they are interested in the technical content or not. Okay, in that case, I can go with the image data set for finding out their facial recognition, facial expression. Okay, you can take a best example of unlocking your mobile phone using the face. Have you all agree with me or not? Yes. So, in most of the mobile phones, you will have a feature called facial recognition to unlock your phone. Okay, so these are all some of the examples, example applications using image data set. Okay, and audio data sets we will be working very rarely. Okay, but in most of the online applications like YouTube, Spotify. Okay, so these are all some of the online applications that will use audio data sets as well as the recordings for speech recognition. Of course, our voice assistant. Okay, Alexa, Siri. So these applications are using audio data set, exactly as I mentioned. Okay, so they will be using audio data sets for the particular application. So these are all the different types of data. The reason why we want to understand the types of data, because the machine learning algorithm requires a large volume of data to learn the patterns from the data for the future prediction based on the application. Is it clear? Shall we move on to the next slide? I can see Okay. Students, don't post the queries related to the non-technical content. We will be addressing those queries at the end of the session. Okay. So CSV files, Ayush Natani. So the CSV file, I can say it will be stored in the form of rows and columns, right? So that is a structured data. Okay. I think Atani, am I answer to your question? I I didn't get any response from the person. Yeah. I can say in a better way that how it is stored in that particular file. Okay. So it will be stored in the proper format, like comma separated files, comma separated value. Okay. So based on the storage, we can in most of the cases, the CSV file, the column names will be clear. Okay. So each rows follows certain format, same format. Okay. And also this data types will be defined. Okay. So it is most of the cases it is a structured data set. Okay. Am I answer to your question again? Okay. So coming to the so after collecting the data, students, the reason why I'm telling this, so when you start exploring the project, you have to collect your data set and you need to define whether it is a structured data set or unstructured data set or text data, what type of data that you are going to work on for your project that you need to define. Then coming to the pre-processing. Once you have collected the data, for most of the machine learning algorithm, you will do pre-processing. For some cases like deep learning, the feature engineering will be taken care by the algorithm itself. Okay. So coming to the pre-processing, this is one of the essential step to get some effective outcome from the model. So the first one is data cleaning. Okay, so data cleaning, this will try to remove some missing values and inaccurate values from the data. What is missing values? Can anyone tell me? I don't want to confuse you all. Just a layman understanding NA. That is missing values, the row, the feature column that doesn't have any values. Okay, very good. Null values. Then coming to the standardization. What is standardization? Converting all the measurement into a same unit. Okay, say for example, if some values are in inches, centimeters, grams, kilograms. So converting all the measurement into a single unit, that is nothing but standardization. Okay. Then coming to the third part is normalization. This will be doing to make the task very easy. So if you are having the range of values from 0 to some 2000, 3000, it will be very difficult for the machine to process those values. So what you can do the scaling of from 0 to 1 or some specific range of converting all the values into a numerical values of specific range. It will be easy for the machine to process. That is nothing but normalization. Okay. And dimensionality reduction, as we all mentioned, reducing the number of features into few features. Students, am I going too fast? Can anyone tell me? Okay. Then coming to the imbalanced data. Okay. So imbalanced data, uh, so you should have a data values equal from both extremes. Okay. So if you are having the low values in the higher range, that will leads to some uh, biased biased in the results. Okay. So in order to overcome that, you need to balance the data. That is handling imbalancing the data. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Okay, so example. Um, okay, let me tell you. So when you're taking the teachable machine, no. So in that teachable machine, we have two classes. What is the two classes? We have sad face and the happy face, right? So in the sad face, you have 27 images. In the happy face, you have 27 images. So what will happen? So the machine can able to learn properly. But when in the sad face, you have 100 images. But in the happy face, you have only 10 images. What will happen? The machine will get more trained on the sad faces rather than the happy faces. So what will happen? It will give the biased results on sad faces. Can you able to understand? Yes. Then outlier. So outlier is nothing but the values that are out of the given range. Say for example, um, uh, the students across India are attending the session. Only one student from abroad, he is also attending the session. So I can say okay, I can see myself as an outlier in this session. Because you are all the students, those who are learning. I am the person those who are, who are teaching the session. Okay, yes, exactly. 0 to 10, in that particular range, 100. You can consider the age of the participants attending this program. So you people might fall under the age of some 13 to 18, right? But when you're taking the supervisor or the teacher age, it will be more than the actual range, right? So I'm considering as the outlier of this program. In this internship. Okay, I think this is clear to everyone, right? Outlier deduction. Okay. Then coming to the data splitting. So splitting of data, you will be dividing the data for training and testing. You have different types of splitting the data. You can have random splitting. You can have 80-20 splitting for training and testing. It depends on the algorithm that we are going to choose. We will be dividing the data into two portions. Okay, one is for training the model to generate the model for the future prediction. The other one is testing the model. Whatever the model that we have created, whether it is working fine with the new data or not. Okay, so this is how the pre-processing taken place before going to build the machine learning algorithm. Is this clear to everyone? Okay. Yes. So, students, you will be start exploring the project implementation by next week. Okay. So, we will be discussing on what is the project that we are going to explore and what are all the different types of algorithm that we will be working on with our working on for our project to be completed and implemented. Okay, I hope all the students are having the Python setup in your laptop or any Python supporting environment. You can use Google Colab or you can use Jupyter Notebook. Okay, make sure you can use VS Code. Absolutely fine. Okay, any Python supporting environment you can use. Make sure that if you don't have anything, no need not worry at all. You can use Google Colab. Okay, for my session, I will be using Jupyter Notebook to implement the concepts. Okay, we are not going to learn Python from the scratch, students. So we will be using some libraries for completing the project. And students, your project title is Employee Salary Prediction using Machine Learning Algorithm. Kindly make a note of it. I request all the students to come up with the Python environment. Make sure that you will have a good internet connections. So whenever we start exploring the project by next week, you should have laptop with you and you have to work parallelly with me so that you can understand each and every concept clearly. Okay? Yeah, I will share the data set. I will let you know what are all the libraries that you have to download and what is the problem definition of that particular project. Everything I will share it with you. But for the prerequisite of the project implementation, you have to come up with the Python supporting environment. Yes. Okay. So have you all clear with the technical content that we have discussed today? So in the next week, we will be focusing on different machine learning algorithms, students, and followed by the project implementation. Okay. So in the next week, we will be exploring different supervised machine learning algorithm. Okay. Then what are all the prerequisite of the project problem definition and your project implementation. Okay. So meanwhile, students, make use of the time for your course completion. We will upload this recording in the Telegram group, students. You can watch and understand the things. Okay. And also we will share today's attendance form in the Telegram group. Offer letter we will be sharing soon.